South Africa came under international scrutiny after the discovery of the Omicron variant. International governments almost immediately issued travel bans, and South Africa was labelled the country where the Omicron variant originated. But as cases of the new variant emerged in other parts of the world, research showed that the variant might not necessarily have originated in South Africa. And global institutions and health bodies started applauding South African scientists for their speedy discovery. Brand SA says the discovery demonstrated South Africa's strong reputation for scientific and epidemiology excellence, and believes South Africa's reputation contributing to the global fight against the COVID-19 pandemic has been enhanced as a result. For more on this, we're joined by Brand South Africa Board Trustee Sisanda Nkwala. Sisanda, very good morning.
Good morning, Hugo.
Now, difficult situation we find ourselves in that we've made this incredible discovery of the Omicron variant, but instead of the world applauding us, the world wants nothing to do with us, certainly in as far as travel is concerned.
Yes, and I think that was the initial knee-jerk reaction that we saw from some countries. But as more information has emerged, South Africa has actually been applauded by entities like the World Health Organization, the United Nations, and even the United States President, Joe Biden, in terms of how our scientists were the first to detect this variant, and in so doing have actually enhanced the global fight against the pandemic. So while the initial reaction may have been a knee-jerk one, as more information has emerged and as our scientists have really led the way in uncovering and discovering this new variant, it's actually been shown that South Africa is leading the fight, and we don't deserve the backlash that we've seen some countries bringing our way.
Well, fair enough, there has been that communication that South Africa has done phenomenally well, certainly by the WHO, whom unfortunately do not determine who travels to which country, because countries are entitled to do that on their own. And we may speak of a knee-jerk reaction, but a week down the road, there hasn't been much indication that those bans are being lifted.
Yes, and I think this is where we see that the COVID-19 pandemic is not just a health crisis, but it's also a communication crisis as well as a political crisis that needs for entities to come together to speak out when mistakes like these knee-jerk reactions are made. So as the truth has emerged, the fact that some nations are sticking to their guns and still putting these travel bans in place shows that perhaps their decision was not one informed by scientific reasons, but by other reasons. And so I think it falls upon us to mobilize and continue to change the narrative that just because we discovered the variant doesn't mean we are the source of it. And so the response globally needs to be adjusted accordingly.
Now this, for me, proffers interesting times for you as custodians of the South African brand. Your mandate is to protect and enhance the brand of South Africa. Talk to us about your strategy now that the world has said, listen, we're not interested in coming to you guys because you guys own the Omicron variant, which obviously is an incorrect perception.
Yes, so I think as Brand South Africa, ours is not to necessarily change minds, but rather to showcase the good that our scientists have been doing, and to also showcase the coordinated strategy that our country has had in tackling the virus. We have to date as a country around 2 out of 5 adults have received at least one vaccine, a third are fully vaccinated, and almost 60% of our adult population who are 60 and over have been fully vaccinated. So it's those kinds of messages that we are putting out. We cannot change the minds of people or entities whose decisions are not being informed by science, but by political or other reasons. What we can do, though, is put out the narrative that we are doing everything we can to fight the virus, and use the fact that we are actually leaders to show that South Africa is safe, it is open, and we are looking forward to the tourists who will use reason and science to make their decision about where to travel, especially with the December holidays coming up, where we are often the destination of choice for tourists.
Sisanda, surely for individuals that do not necessarily use reason, and individuals who will be bringing their greenbacks and other foreign currencies to South Africa, we should be speaking to them on their own terms, on the terms that they understand. Because they are not giving reason to science, they are giving reason to perception, which in many ways is the new reality. So should we not be speaking to those individuals whom the tourism industry had planned for many, many months, be speaking to them on those terms?
Indeed, Hugo, we are, but beyond what we have put out there, if science and reason does not appeal to people, and if the kind of destination that we've shown ourselves to be over the years does not appeal to them, I'm not sure what further can be done, because it's like I said, this virus at its core is a health crisis, but in some instances we are seeing political crises emerging, we're seeing communication crises emerging, and what we can do is showcase the rigorous science that has gone into how we have approached the virus from the start, actually, up until now, and really believe that people will see reason and come to South Africa.
Now, I'd imagine that you've had some interface with international agencies, particularly those that are directing inbound travel to South Africa. What are they saying, and what are some of the messages that you're putting out there?
Look, I think the conversations with international agencies are still ongoing. If a country has put a ban, there's only so much that an international or an agency can do against that. So our conversations need to happen at the highest level, which our government is engaged in. And so I think as the conversations continue at that level, we would see the agencies hopefully change their minds.
Sisanda, finally, we are talking locally about, well, certainly there have been many conversations about local tourism. Let's talk about regional tourism and African tourism. Are you sending any messages out there onto the rest of the continent, obviously, to encourage travel, or certainly building of the SA brand with a view to many more travelers coming into the country?
Indeed, and it's something that not just Brand South Africa does, but we've got South African Tourism and other entities that have, even before this fourth wave started, had been embarking on a coordinated strategy to show that South Africa is open, to show that South Africa is safe, and to show that South Africa is ready to receive local, continental, and even international tourists.
Sisanda, thank you so much for your time this morning, and certainly wish you well with all your endeavours to continue to project South Africa as the destination of choice. Brand South Africa Board Trustee Sisanda Nkwala.